Carmen has everything that it takes to become a superstar because she's a businesswoman, and being a businesswoman, there comes a lot of decisions that you have to make to reach that level. And she knows what she's doing. She has that ability.
We were introduced during the Academy Awards, and we just became very close. He was someone that I really trusted, and I think it's really important if you have someone working very close to you, such as a manager or a PR person, it has to be someone that you really can relate to, someone who understands your dreams and your beliefs, and I think that Eric really does.
Bud. Last name, no, okay, just Bud. And the number is? Okay. Okay, cool.
What is my biggest fantasy is to find a totally unknown personality I believe in and bring that personality to an Academy Award. Might happen with Michael Gershon.
I think what Dale does is help me understand that there's that whole other side of marketing and publicity, and without him I'd probably still be doing theater and doing great work, but as far as moving up, there's a lot of things that you need to do, which he helps me with, I guess.
I think he's going to be the next Robert De Niro.
What I don't want to have happen is to be a flavor of the month, or somebody who comes in and does something and everybody goes, "Woo, oh my God, this guy," and then whoo, out the window.
Flavor of the month in this business is when something is successful. The really most interesting example in recent months is a young man no one has ever heard of named Matthew McConaughey.
That's really cool. I mean, a lot of opportunities and options and choices are coming on now that I've never had before.
It's fascinating. I mean, he was on everybody's lips in this entire country before anybody had ever really seen him.
It's a wonderful time in my life, and this is going to be fun.
If they want to make Matthew a star, they must know what they're doing. You know, that's their business, and you have to have respect for it. If I'm going to act a scene, I think the best thing a director could say to me, I'll watch and I'll wonder, and let's see what you give me. You know, because you are the pro, you're the expert, you're the talent. Show me, and let me pick what I want and suggest what I want. You know, so everybody does their job well, we hope, but I think whatever jobs they're doing in this town, when it comes to movie making, when it comes to making deals, when it comes to the technical aspects of the film world, I mean, you couldn't get better than this place.
Well, if you're at all, I hate to use the word thinking person, but if you're someone who cares at all about the direction society is going in, it's terrifying. Because every decision is based on money.
Out of a sense of greed or lustful grabbing, Hollywood is creating megastars, a handful of megastars that are ruining the business because they are getting too much money.
Agents have never been interested in the art of film. They're interested in how much money they can make for their client. And the money they made soared. You know, when I first came here, $1 million was an enormous amount of money to be paid. That was a decade ago. The top stars in the business are now getting paid $20 million.
What that means is that so much money goes into those particular productions, there is very little left for other kinds of films that used to be made.
Superstar, according to Hollywood's definitions, is someone that's a blockbuster, that's bringing in a couple million per movie. But I think a superstar overall, I don't know, I think it's someone that's good, not just making the money. I think it's an actor that's being nominated for the Oscars and someone that's really contributing to the profession.
Anybody in any career, you strive for success, and the price of success in Hollywood is fame. So I think, you know, they down deep, everybody must. I mean, who wouldn't like success?
So there's absolutely nothing, like, once again, you cannot give me this number, even if I'm a friend of hers from the past. Okay, all right. Okay, fine.
One has to understand that if one is famous, you certainly can't pick your nose in public because somebody's going to find out.
Hugh Grant, poor kid, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he never should have been there. And then you wonder, you know, but there were what, 1,800 men maybe a night. They go in and out, nothing's ever said. Hugh Grant goes in, there's your example. He almost lost everything.
He did one thing and one thing only that made it work for him. He went on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno like a little boy saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I mean, I know I shouldn't have done that, but I mean, you know, and giggling and sort of doing that, you know, and America fell in love with him.
Because I don't know, too difficult.
Highlight. Oh, I've had plenty of them. I've had many. I think one of the greatest moments for me was trying to overcome this incredible feeling of intimidation and excitement and self-consciousness, walking up to Robert Mitchum's arm and having to say, I love you, sweetheart, like his woman, and going, oh my God, it's Robert Mitchum, you know, because I idolized him so, and I thought he was a spectacular human being and a superior actor. We played two people in a trailer park, if you can believe it. It was really an interesting thing to try to grab hold of trailer park people. I mean, to me, it was like being on the moon. I came from New York City. We were in Cape May, New Jersey, and McKeesport, Pennsylvania. It was like, where the hell are we? And who are these people that would come up to him with their hair and rollers and Bermuda shorts and, you know, hi, Bob, you know, and run after him. And he had eyes in the back of his head. One time, one of the greatest stories about him, he was sitting in a director's chair that they have on the set for actors, and I'm sitting next to him, and he said, get up. I said, what? He said, get up and keep moving. So I got up and I kept walking with him, and at one point I heard the shrills of all these women, and I turned around, and there were about 4 women, all chunky in their Bermuda shorts and their big tits, running down the street. Bob, come back here, Mitchum. I want your suit. I want your pants so I can sew a heart on them. I mean, he was running like you can't believe. And I said, do you have eyes in the back of your head? And he went, yep. He knew it. He just felt it. But that's obviously living with it for years. People would sneak into his motel room and take his shorts. That's what I meant, not his pants. Take his shorts out of his bedroom, out of his drawer, and embroider a heart on it, on the ass. And loved him to death. And he would sign people's autographs. This is why he was such a magnificent original. He would sign autographs to women. If I'm not there by 9, start without me. He was the greatest. I just loved him. I looked at him like he was a painting that changed every day before my eyes, and he taught me a lot.
I think that when one becomes famous, what occurs is not so much a change as it is a mirror to the inner soul. I think that whatever has been hiding in there comes out. And I think that when one becomes famous, what is fame? It's saying that we adore you. You can do no wrong. We all know you. We all accept you. We adore you. I think that that's when they go to who their true character is.
And I've seen Chuck Heston stand, talk to the person, answer their questions, autograph the menu, pose for a picture, and be so gracious and sit down to go back to dinner, which is getting cold. And someone has said to him, my gosh, Chuck, you know, this is an invasion. He said, no, it's not. It's part of the business. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be making pictures. If we weren't making pictures, I wouldn't be working and I wouldn't be acting.
I really had no idea. I'd never done films before. I had no idea what I was in for, how big the movie was going to be. And so when it opened, and the first weekend, it did $17 million in the United States. So within 3 days, I was walking down the street and people were recognizing me. You know, and at first it was very flattering and stuff like that, and then there's this feeling of insecurity that comes across you, you know, and by that I started changing my hair color, doing everything to kind of like be more, and it wasn't even to like a huge degree like some people, you know what I mean, which must be just a nightmare, I mean, in some aspects.